Jake Rooney joined Derby County back in 2022 when Liam Rosenior was the man at the helm. He was coaching Derby County to be a possession-based team, one which was going to dominate the division of League One. Liam Rosenior was quickly moved on in September, being replaced by Paul Warne. Jake Rooney then did eventually get his League One opportunity and did become somewhat of a decent player for Derby County's first team. However, a serious knee injury kept him out for 12 months, and then another knee injury in pre-season just a few months ago kept him out until September. Jake Rooney has been back training since September, playing for the under-21s, and has not seen a snippet of first team football. Now, with a whole host of injuries, not just in the defensive line but also in that midfield, is Jake Rooney now primed and ready to go for Derby County? This is a question which John Eustace will have to ask himself over the course of the next few weeks. Now, I spoke in a TikTok that will have been posted alongside this video about Jake Rooney. Jake Rooney made his debut for Derby County in a 4-3-3 system, playing as a number 6, playing as that defensive midfielder, playing just ahead of the back four with Liam Thompson and Corey Smith ahead of him. And he had somewhat of a decent game. He played 63 minutes against Mansfield Town back in 2022. 51 touches, 31 passes, 31 accurate passes out of 36, 86%. 3 completed long balls out of 4. 3 out of 3 completed dribbles. 7 completed out of 11 ground duels, and lost his only aerial duel. He lost possession just 6 times. Committed just 1 foul. He made 2 clearances, 1 interception, 4 tackles, and was only dribbled past twice by that Mansfield Town outfit. But Jake Rooney hasn't played in midfield since for Derby County. And is that something which John Eustace could tap into? Now, obviously, many of you will know that Jake Rooney came into Derby County as a centre-back from Burnley's under-21s. And after that game against Mansfield, it was a long time before he got back on the pitch. In fact, that's a little bit of a lie. He got back on the pitch in a centre-back position versus West Brom just a couple of months down the line, well, a couple of weeks down the line, and then his final game for a long time came in the EFL Trophy again at centre half, and then obviously some of you will remember the Man City game, but we're not going to talk much about that. Obviously, then had to wait until November before he played again, which was up against Torquay. Another game where he played in a right back position this time. And it's one of those for me where Jake Rooney has shown a ton of versatility. And it cannot be underestimated the importance that Jake Rooney could have for Derby County, and it just feels as if he's being a little bit neglected. He went on a little bit of a run in the second half of that season, playing up against Oxford again in that right back position, and went from the 4th of March to around the 18th of April, where he played in a range of games for Derby County and put in some really good performances. Bristol Rovers was probably the standout. Again, obviously, played in a sort of a right back, right centre half position, and played 74 minutes. 3 ground duels, 1 out of 5, 18 out of 23 passes, 41 touches in a right centre-back role. And he's been a very good player for Derby County when he's played. And he didn't then play again until the next season against Fleetwood Town, where he started in that right centre-back position, put in a really good performance, 83 minutes, 6 out of 11 duels won, 3 of them were in the air, of which he won none. Lost possession 8 times, won 1 foul, 56 touches, 33 accurate passes, 6 of 11 aerial balls, 1 long balls. And then obviously he picked up that injury just a few games later versus Bolton Wanderers, of which he was having a decent performance that afternoon as well. And obviously since then is yet to play for the first team. Has obviously made a couple of appearances for the under-21s. But for me, I personally believe that Jake Rooney could really have an impact for Derby County if he was to play. And that's the problem that we have here. It's that, is John Eustace going to trust in him, or is John Eustace going to go for a Liam Thompson, move a Ben Osborne into midfield? And these are the conversations that we've got to have with each other, because we've got some real good talent in our academy. The likes of Jake Rooney, the likes of Cruz Allen, Niall McAndrew, Justin Ogatolu. There's a player who scored a hat-trick at the weekend for the under-18s. Owen Eames is quietly having one of the best academy seasons we've seen in a long time between the 18s and the 21s. And it'll be interesting to see how he develops, because I remember when I was at Derby County, there was a few ums and ahs about him. And obviously, he's coming to show them that he deserved his scholarship, and he's doing unbelievably well. And it will be interesting to see if he can make that gap into the 21s and into the first team over the course of the next few years. But what's important right now is filling that hole of David Ozoh. And what I've been crying out for in midfield is someone with technical ability, someone who can pass the ball, someone who's good on the ball, good in a tackle, like David Ozoh. And I think the perfect man for that role is Jake Rooney. And why wouldn't it be Jake Rooney? What a tremendous start to his career he had in that obviously right centre-back role, obviously playing in the sort of number 6 role for Derby under Liam Rosenior. And I genuinely believe if Liam Rosenior was at Derby County for that first League One season, I think Jake Rooney would have become a regular starter across the course of that campaign, because I think he showed in those cup games that he had bags and bags of ability. He just needed it unlocking, and then Derby County completely sort of changed the way they wanted to play, bringing in Paul Warne, and it just didn't work out very well for Jake Rooney that first season, only getting a couple of appearances after that, and then obviously moving on into the season after that, where he played 3 or 4 times before picking up a huge injury, which obviously kept him out up until now. Essentially, he's not played a competitive game since that Bolton Wanderers game, and I do feel a bit bad for Jake Rooney, because you know the ability's there. Even when I've seen him for the 21s this season, you can see the ability is well and truly there. And the big question is it going to get tapped into over the course of the next 3 or 4 weeks, given the situation that Derby County have? You obviously, you look at the position we're in right now. If you do look at our squad and the injuries that we do have, it's ridiculous, especially in the midfield area. You look at David Ozoh's going to be out, which leaves you with Ibu, Kenzo, Armstrong, Osborne and Tomo as the midfielders. Osborne, hit and miss depending on if Elder's fit. Obviously with the injury now at centre back to Matt Clark, Nat Phillips still not quite ready. That opens the door for Jake Rooney to slot in that position as well. So it's a very interesting predicament that John Eustace finds himself in, and what Jake Rooney finds himself in, because Derby County keep losing games and Derby County can't seem to pick up a victory. And what they need change. They need unpredictability. And for me, that's going to come in the form of new players. But where are those new players going to come from for Derby County? They're going to have to come from the academy. Yes, the free agent market is still well and truly open, but are those players going to be up to speed to step in on Saturday? Probably not. And as I'm talking right now, Derby County could sign a free agent before the end of the week. What was it, Kmar Roof, who got announced on Tuesday afternoon last week. So there is a possibility that a signing could be announced over the course of the next few weeks. But the big question will be, is are they ready? And for me, I think it gets to a point where we're in a situation where it's looking unlikely we stay up. Yes, there's only a 4-point gap. Yes, teams have games in hand, so it could potentially be 7. But who's going to pick it up? Are we going to be able to? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what Derby County do. Will the Youth Academy get tapped into? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you have not done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and I'll catch you in my next video tomorrow morning.